Good evening, friends. Today I am going to talk about the key biomechanical which are responsible for enhancing the performance in cricket with respect to your batting. Okay. Now, the learning outcomes of this lecture will be participants will understand what biomechanical factors are responsible for increasing your cricket batting performance. So we'll be focusing on the batting only. Second point, are these factors are same for men or women? Mean male batsman, female batsman, these biomechanical factors are similar or not. So this is the second point you will understand. And the third one is how to train these athletes for these biomechanical corrections or biomechanical factors, which can definitely enhance your performance in batting. So please focus, we are just talking about batting today. So coming to the next part, well, so what is the aim of a batsman in the cricket? So first aim is to hit the ball as far as possible. Technically we call it carry distance, and in biomechanics we call it range. Both are same. Now here the concept of projectile will work. So projectile is whatever you launch in the air is right and is freely falling is projectile. So in projectile also we talk of range. Suppose it has the projectile has been launched from the ground and it has again landed on the ground. So this is the distance from starting point, launching point to the landing point is known as range. So this range, or in other words carry distance, is the key parameter which will determine the performance of the batsman, how far he can hit the ball. So that is the main aim or criteria of performance. Okay. So better the carry distance or range means higher the carry distance, more the carry distance, best is the performance. Okay. Hitting the ball further make you better batsman, and we call it as power hitting. When you do power hitting, then definitely you will have good range. Power hitting leads to good carry distances. Now we will study what are the factors which are responsible for this power hitting, so that we can get good range. Okay. Now again I will remind you of projectile motion. So this is the just graphic showing you the batsman hitting the ball, and here the after the impact the ball. So here the projectile is our cricket ball. So it has been launched, then it will be falling, and this distance where it will hit the ground, sorry the line is little bit, this one is your range or carry distance. Now as you have, if you know it, the range in projectile motion depends upon two factors. So first one is your angle at which it is launched. Second one is what is the velocity of this projectile when it was launched. So velocity during launch and the angle of projection of the projectile during launch. So these two factors are the primary one which can biomechanically or physically, according to physics principle, will decide range of your projectile. One thing always keep in mind, that when we talk of projectile motion we ignore air resistance, we don't take into account, because if air comes into play then these physics principles fail. Because you must have seen that if the weather condition is not good, nobody plays, So what is the reason? Because this is the reason that the technique, the physics principle don't work. when you have some problem in the weather or when there is air resistance. So kindly keep in mind, always keep in mind, whenever we talk of projectile motion, ignore air resistance. Okay. Now, these are the two primary factors which can increase your range of a projectile. Similarly, these two factors will increase the range of our ball and hence power hitting. Okay. Now, first of all, we'll deal with the angle. Angle of projectile ball in cricket. Now, changing angle at launch can vary range. If you have understood the projectile motion in detail, you must have learned that if you launch projectile in the range of, now projectiles are different types, so in this lecture we are just focusing on the cricket ball. So this is the type of one where launch and landing is on the same level. Sometimes launching is on the higher end, so this is in the case of basketball. So we are not taking this, we are where the level is same, because bat is here and the landing will be here, right? So at the same level. So when they are at the same level, it has been discovered or it has been observed most of the times that 42 or 45 degrees is the angle where you will get the maximum range, launch angle. So any variation in this can affect your range. So ideally, what has been observed in the cricket, ideally it is not observation, I'll tell you later on. This is the ideal 42 degree. Theoretically, the theoretical value is 40 degree is the optimum angle of best range according to the projectile principle of physics. Somewhere it is 45, so somewhere it is 42, so this is the range 40 to 45. So when you have this angle of projection is this 42 or 45, you will have maximum range. So you have to train your batsman so that they can launch at this optimum angle. But now I'll let you know what is the practically observed value which batsmen do and get the best speeds. It is not 42 degree. This is the theoretical one. There is always difference between theory and the practical. So now I'll let you know what are the practical angle in the later slide. So first of all, you should have understood the message here is, if the angle of projection is optimum near 42 degree, then you will have maximum range. This is the first condition so that you can increase your range. Now bat angle and impact varies ball angle. Now we are talking about ball angle. So how it will be vary? When the bat angle will vary, because it is the bat which is going to hit the ball. So ultimately in the cricket, this bat angle will actually determine the angle of projection of ball. The thing is same, just the link is there that you are launching the projectile with the help of bat. So angle of bat will vary the angle of projection of your projectile, means cricket ball, and it has been observed that bat angle during impact of ball on board affects the projection angle of a ball. So this you keep in mind. This is the same thing. We are just dealing with the angle of projection of projectile, which is cricket ball, but in the cricket it is launched with the help of bat. So bat angle will ultimately affect the angle. So we have to have that bat angle which produces optimum angle of projection. So that was near 42 degrees. Hope it is clear. So both slides are connected with one another. The main message here is that you have to launch the cricket ball at this optimum angle to get the maximum range. Okay. Now this is the practical slide. Best batting shot angles in real life, which has been observed by elite players, international players, and practically it has been observed that best shots played at the angle ranging between 28 to 29 degrees. So this is the real life range. So you have to train your new athletes that you should be able to deliver your cricket ball after impact at the angle of 28 to 29 degrees. So this is the angle at which we have got best ranges. Okay, best performances. Now why it is less? So what could be the reasons? So these could be the reason which we have found. There are three reasons. First one is for minimizing risk of catch, because this you have to also keep in mind that if you get caught, you are out of the game. So to prevent that and to increase the range, so this is the thing they have come into. If you play at 28 to 29 degree, you can decrease the risk of catch. So higher angles are more prone to catches. So this is the first reason that they have chosen this range for the best performance. So number one is decreasing the risk of catch. Number two, margin of error in swing timing at lower angles. So when you have lower angles like this, you will have some time. If you have some error, timing error in the bat swinging, then you have some margin. However, if you are playing at higher angle like optimum 42, then this margin of error is not there and you can be bowled. So this is the second primary reason that at this range they have some margin of error, so they can adjust accordingly at lower angles. This is the second reason. And third one is lower angles allow faster bat speeds. Now this is connected to your anthropometric parameters. Like everybody is different. Some has small limbs, some have long limbs. Somebody has more strength, somebody has less strength. So it has been observed that if you play at lower angles like this one, so you can get better bat speeds. So better bat speeds, faster bat speeds also matters, and hence you get more range. So this is the real life condition of the observations which we have got. So up till now we have just dealing with the angle of projection. I hope it is clear now. Now we are coming to the next point, velocity of bat. Sorry, velocity of ball. It was earlier was velocity of your projection angle of your ball, that is your projectile. Now velocity, how faster you have launched your projectile. This is the second parameter. Okay. Now this depends upon the sweet spot location. We call it as sweet spot. So what is sweet spot? This is the spot on the bat, this white one. This is your sweet spot. So what is that? I'll tell you in very simple way. It has been observed that when a bowler delivers the ball and you hit the ball, impact happens. So bat ball impact point location also determines the velocity of projectile, and projectile here is the ball, means where the ball is hitting the bat. So this is the point to remember. Off center impact means here, this way. When ball hits the bat at off center, it lowers the ball. On the other hand, if it hits the sweet spot, this one, this has the maximum velocity. So this is the thing. If the impact, according by your timing and training, you are able to hit the ball right at the sweet spot, you will have good velocity and hence better range. So up till now we have discussed two things with regard to projectile motion and with regard to launch of our ball. The first one is your angle and second one is your this sweet spot, or the point where ball makes impact. So angle is the one which should be 29 to 29 or 30 below 28 to 29 degrees we have got practically. So if this is the angle, you have good range, and if you have hit the sweet spot here, then you have a good range. So these two factors will come with the training. When you have good timing, so that you have proper angle and all that, you will get this thing, better range. Now coming to the second part. Now suppose you have trained your batsmen and they have good timing and they are able to hit the ball at the sweet spot. Means they are hitting the ball at the center. They are able to hit the ball at the right point and at the right angle. After that, what is next? How we can improve further? That we are going to discuss now. Now bat speed at impact also matters. Up till now we have just discussed about ball angle, ball velocity. So these two factors we have understood. Angle is optimum, should be near the optimum, and the ball speed will be determined by sweet spot. If these two are okay, there is another third factor which will affect your performance is your bat speed. How fast you swing the bat at the impact. Bat speed at impact matters a lot. Biomechanical techniques correction can enhance this batting speed. So here biomechanics work a lot. Here the biomechanical technique will work for increasing your bat speed. Video analysis helps in analysis of these factors. So with the video analysis of the batsman, like here, these are the cameras, 3D motion analysis, marker. We put the marker on the each joint and do the analysis in the field, and that will give us the factors which are responsible for increasing your bat speed at impact. So now I am going to discuss these important factors which are very crucial, and if you train your athletes to have these factors, then definitely they will have greater speeds at impacts. Okay, so what are these? To study that, these are the factors after video. By putting the markers, we record the video and we focus on these are the most of the things which we focus on, but out of these I will discuss the important ones which are actually matters. So bat speed, bat center of COM position, center of mass position, bat angle, wrist cocking, down swing duration, front knee extension, stride length, X factor, center of mass displacement, elbow flexion extension. So these are the major parameters which we focus on, and out of these few have been shortlisted which actually enhances your bat speed. So I am going to discuss that. Okay, before that, little bit of you must be knowing what are the key instants in batting. So first of all is your start is from downswing, and then start and end of the forward stride, and then finally here is the impact of the ball. Okay, so these are just a breakage. Here we observe all these parameters. So basically now I'll let you know what is that. So what are the factors which are responsible for the faster bat speed? So the number one is your X factor. So if you develop X factor, what is that? It is basically pelvis thorax separation at start of downswing. Bigger the X factor, faster is the bat speed. If you develop this, I'll show the figure, then you will understand. So just look at this. Suppose you are looking at some batsman from the light on the top angle, and this is the head, and if you have this angle, this is your line of thorax and this is your line of second line is of your pelvis. So when you swing the bat, so this X will be there, imaginary X, and bigger the X, faster the speed. So this video will help you to basically understand what I am saying. Now just focus on the video. This is the animation. Now red and blue line are thorax and pelvis lines, and when the ball will come, you see now he is able to, now see this is the X I am talking about. Yeah, the bigger the X, faster your bat speed is. So this you have to develop in your athlete so that they can separate your their thorax line and their pelvis line in a better way. To some extent, it is of your anthropometric factor, and and you can train your athletes to develop this. So what is the main factor? Biomechanical principle is stress shortening cycle. It's happening so that you can hit the ball with a greater speed if you make this X factor in a good way. That different types of muscle stretching so that you can have strain energy and add up that energy and hit the ball with a great force. So this is the first factor. Now the second one is your lead elbow extension. That also has been observed that if you extend your lead elbow, then also this is one of the technique which helps in the faster bat speeds. And the third one is wrist uncocking. So these two factors will help you to lengthen your body segment, because if it is in the extended position, that means you are lengthening your body segment, and if the body segment is lengthier, then definitely it has more velocity. So this is the second physical factor. Both lead elbow extension and wrist uncocking will definitely enhance your bat speed. So these are the three factors: X factor, lead elbow extension, and wrist uncocking, that will ultimately help you to achieve faster bat speeds. So these factors lead to enhancement in the segmental length, and lengthier your body segment, faster the velocity you will get. Hence segmental speed increases, that leads to enhanced bat speed. So ultimately what is happening in batting, which is ultimately leading to enhancement of your bat speed or performance, is your kinetic chain principle. So what we are doing, you see, just we are starting with the movement of leg, then we have trunk movement, then shoulder movement, then elbow and wrist. So this is the way it is progressing. You started with your leg movement, then your trunk, that X factor, you are able to move that, then your shoulder, elbow, and finally the smallest part, your wrist. All these is ultimately helping you to enhance your force, starting from the legs, trunk, shoulder, elbow, and this is known as kinetic chain principle. And basically you are generating momentum with the larger portion of the body and then transferring it, and once you transfer it to the smaller part, definitely it will increase its velocity, because momentum is mass into velocity, right? So you are generating momentum from the larger body parts and transferring it to it further. So this is the main principle which is happening in your batting. Now this is the slide which will tell you the summary of this slide, that what you have learned up till now. So carry distance is your range, which will determine your performance, batting performance, BP. So initially it depends because it's a projectile, it will depend upon ball launch angle, that is projectile launch angle, and projectile speed. These two factors are related to your projectile motion. And for ball launching at particular angle will depend upon bat angle, because this is cricket, because cricket is going to launch this projectile. So this angle will be determined by basically angle at impact, and this has to be optimum. Okay, so this is one. Launch speed will depend upon your sweet spot. That means at the center of the bat, ball should hit for enhanced velocity and hence good range. So these two factors. Now coming to the third important, bat ball impact location. This is the second sweet spot. This is the third one, your bat speed. And for this we have three factors: X factor, lead elbow extension, and wrist uncocking. And all these three will ultimately means kinetic chain, and that will ultimately enhance your range of ball, and we call it as power hitting. So this is the summary. Okay. Now male versus female in batting. So are these factors same in male or female, which we are talking about? What are the observations in real life? That I'll discuss. Observation on records of elite players. Males have higher range in comparison to female. Higher range of ball hitting. That means power hitting is more efficient, or more range has been observed in the males than females. And males, why this range is high? Because male have higher bat speeds in comparison to female batsmen. Obviously, this is the main reason why they have high range. And what are the biomechanical factors responsible for this? Now I'll let you know. Factor responsible for this difference. Number one, that again, timing is almost same. Timing means the timing of angling the bat so that a launch angle should be near the optimum. It is almost similar in both male and female are able to, if they are trained enough, they can timing their bat swing so that they can launch the projectile at perfect angle or near perfect angle at perfect speed. But the bat speed is where the difference comes, and that is determined by X factor, and males have higher X factor as compared to females. That is the number one point. Males have greater lead elbow extension than females. There is that, sorry, this is than. So lead elbow extension is more observed in males. And one thing I let you know, that female don't extend. Most of the females we have observed in the various studies that female batsmen don't make this technique of lengthening body segments in their batting technique. They don't extend their lead elbow, and some of them even keep it flexed in the flexed position. So I'll show you the graphic, you will understand. And this is the reason they have less bat speed. Males have greater lead elbow extension than females at impact. That is one of the same thing. So now male utilize this movement solution for gaining higher speeds, that I have already discussed, because if you extend your lead elbow, that will lead to lengthening of segment, and lengthier segments have higher speeds. So this is the way they have got a movement solution for enhancing their speeds for better range. Female don't use any movement solution like above, means they don't utilize their basically they don't utilize these factors, the lengthening of their elbow or these kind of things. They don't, rather they flex during a shot. Now this is the video, you will see the demo how male and females differ in their technique. Let me play it for you. Now just focus, the left side is your male batsman and the right side is the female. First focus on male. See the elbow, it is almost straight, lead elbow throughout the action. It is more like golf, using full segment length to get the enhancement. Now see the female one on the right side. They are keeping their elbows flexed throughout the action. So this is the reason and difference of technique between the two, male and females. Now the question is, can females be coached to extend the elbow, or is there any significance in the case of females? Earlier study has confirmed that female professional golfers do extension of lead elbow technique. In the golf, we have observed that in the golf, females are able to extend do the lead extension, this same technique which males are doing in the cricket, that lead elbow extension. They did that in the golf. It has been observed females are doing that for good range. So that simply tells us that they can be we can also work on female batsmen to train them to do that in the in cricket also. But a recent study, there has been study on this one, but they have seen that if we train them to extend elbow, we were not able to achieve higher bat speeds. So one message came from this observation is that you should not stress, no stress should be given for this technique in females, as it is not clear because results are not confirmed. We cannot stress that yes, females should also extend their elbow so that they can have better speeds. So more work is needed in this area, on this area. More research is needed so that we can come to some conclusion. Now coming to the last part of this lecture, how to train both males and females. So training part, you all know there are different type of strength training. I am not talking about that. I am just talking about something new here that you will that is very interesting. So that is your observation by cues. Training your athletes with the help of cues. Train them to use cues for improving timing. So mainly timing is very important in cricket batting. So to improve that, we have to train our athletes so that they can use their senses by studying the cues or the points which are they getting by just observing the bowler. I'll discuss one little example of Ronaldo. If you know it, you can search that video on the net. During the training, they also use this cues training. Means they ask him to kick the ball in the goal. Firstly, he kicks the ball in full light, right? A one player opponent passes or he gets the ball and kicks in a full light. So that is obvious because he's Ronaldo. Same thing they do with some keeping the light dull. So they switch off the light when the ball was coming to him. So he used his senses. He used the angle and all that observation of his brain so that he was able to hit the ball and again get the goal. And in the third instance, what they did, they completely switched off the lights just after hitting the ball. Second instance was they have hit the ball, he has seen the ball coming, and then they switched the light. In the third instance, it was the most difficult one. They just kicked the ball to him and they switched off the light, right? Just the ball released. So difficulty level is more. So in this way, he was able to train his senses for the cue. Similar way, we have to train our batsman to improve timing by using the cues from the bowler. Using bowling machine is one of the method to do that, because in the bowling machine you don't know what will be the ball like, right? So that will develop this kind of observations. So see here, this graphs will tell you. So no occlusions, just focus on the left one. Let me so just focus on this one. So the black one are the high skilled elite players and the white ones are means they are learners, they are not elite. Now in this case, when there was no occlusion, means a proper daylight situation, when there was no difficulty level, of course both played well. So this is the first case. Now we have to train in these cases, pre-bounce and pre-release. Now in this case, pre-bounce means ball has not hit the ground, and this is a situation with the help of bowling machine or sidearm. Sidearm is a tool which helps you to train cues in the batsman. So using that, in the pre-bounce case, when bowler, for example, in the simple words, they have switched the lights when ball bounced. So batsman took the cues up till bouncing of the ball, and on the basis of that, again here the performance of skilled players were more, but see it is decreased in the learner ones. Now this is the most difficult one, the third one, pre-release. So they have switched off the lights before even releasing the ball. This is the most difficult one. Just looking at the bowler, how it is coming, that is the only observation batsman has, and then only the skilled players were able, that is 40%, were able to hit the ball properly, and the learners who don't have this development, this training development of cues, hitting the ball with the help of cues, so they lag in the performance. So this is the what we need to develop in our athletes, so that they can improve their timing and all those factors which we are dealing with to enhance the range. Rest training method, resistance method, all are there. So this is it. Side arm, so this is the side arm. You can see that this, with this we make that effect. Bowler don't understand how the ball will come by using, and they use this to develop cues in the batsman, cues observation. Thank you.